Coming at you live, live. It is your boy Skillz here with 2023 Topps Baseball. We have gone through card numbers 1 through 75. We're here to present you cards numbers 76 through 100. We're going to organize, we're going to sort, we're going to collate, we're even going to make fun of. As happy as I am, Topps is still existing as a company after the sale to Fanatics and everything. I'm still not going to bypass any chance to make fun of the company when it presents us with misspellings and typos and things like that. Hey, that's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. That's probably what you're here for. So let's, without further ado, go ahead with round 4 of what I'm unofficially calling Skills on Cards. Enjoy the show. Card number 76 would be Josh, and I'd be lying to you if I told you that I was pronouncing this properly and I knew for a fact that I was right. Card 76 is Josh Winkowski, and I'm sure you out there in the universe will tell me if I'm right or wrong. Josh is a rookie relief pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. According to the reverse here, the blurb says Josh went 3-0 with a 2.12 ERA for the Red Sox in June 22, showing why they acquired him from the Mets in a 3-team trade the previous year. A former 15th round MLB draft pick, Winkowski is a strike thrower who welcomes early soft contact. Mid-90 sinker is a ground ball producer, while the slider is effective against either-handed hitters. Well, look at that. The guy had 12 decisions in 15 games, so that's pretty unusual. Not really an indicator of good or bad performance, just something I noticed. A lot of hits allowed, a lot of innings, a lot of ERA, a high ERA, and then you have the whip is a little higher than you'd like, but the guy's got a good arm. He's probably going to stick around. Born in 98 when I was a senior in high school. How about that? Card number 77, legendary Orioles starting pitcher Kyle Bradish, and I'm not going to lie to you about this guy either. I'm not sure if it's Bradish or Bradish, but in any event, he's a guy who's been in the rotation for Baltimore the last couple of years. Good live arm. What do we have on the back here? It says, the 2019 trade with the Angels began to pay off for the Orioles last season as Kyle capably held down a rotation berth for more than half the season. 2 gems of note came in his initial 2 MLB wins. No walks and 11K in the first, and 8 scoreless 2-hit frames in the second. They came against the powerful Cardinals and Astros, respectively. So Bradish is an Arizona native. He's a guy who went 4-7 in 23 games for the Orioles, 117 2/3 innings. So at least he gave him 5 innings plus a start, which is a lot in this era. 4.90 ERA, 140 WHIP. Got to get those home run balls down a little bit. He got the walks and strikeouts, not terrible, and as I said, he did stick with the Orioles at 23 as an Angels draft pick. Card number 78 is former Oakland A's superstar Sonny Gray. Gray, who was up and down with his career's been up and down since he left the A's. He was a pretty dominant pitcher with the A's for a while there. Kind of fell in some hard times, got traded to the Yankees. He's been around a little bit ever since, but in 2022, he joined Minnesota. He was 8-5 with a 3.08 ERA for the 22 Twins in 24 games. They didn't let him get the one last out he needed to make 5 innings to start, but whatever. Blurb says, a rare pitcher to consistently deploy 6 pitches, Sonny turned most often to his 92-mile-an-hour sinker that regularly neutralized opposing batters in 2022. 4 of his first 10 starts for the Twins were scoreless. Now, how many of those starts was he allowed to go more than 4 or 5 innings? So, I mean, you got to take that with a curve. It's not a knock on him, not knocking Gray. I'm knocking Rocco Baldelli and the management that doesn't stretch their starters out in Minnesota. Gray is now 25 years old as he opens, or I don't know, 34 years old as he enters the 2024 season. I forgot who he signed with, but I'll have that in the notes. Card number 79 brings us to a guy who can mash. This is Tyler O'Neill. Kind of like not really the best known player outside. If you're not a St. Louis fan, you may or may not have heard of this guy, but he can hit the ball pretty well. Whereas number 27, as you see here, in honor of the great Scott Rowland, former Cardinal. Maybe that number will be retired someday. Now that Rowland's in the Hall of Fame. Flipping over O'Neill's card, we have the blurb here. Well, first let's look over the numbers. You can see he was a 34 home run man in 2021. Missed some time in 2022. Still hit 14 homers, but only hit 228. Blurb says, although it's his bodybuilder type muscle that is most often commented on, Tyler is a remarkable athlete who has won 2 fielding awards, Gold Glove awards. Topps still refusing to use the word Rawlings Gold Glove. Whatever they got into with Rawlings, I still don't know what it is, but this is like a decade now they refuse to use the word Gold Glove or Rawlings on their cards. This is a company that once upon a time used to have Rawlings Gold Glove Award cards in their sets, so this, whatever went on with these two, it's lingering. Anyway, for his left field play, and who carries a top 5 percentile average sprint speed. Last August, he was the first player since Tracy Jones in 1988. Yes, I remember Tracy Jones, former Mariner, former Tiger. Since Tracy Jones in 1988 with 2 contactless game-ending RBI in the same month. So apparently he was the benefactor of the beneficiary of a walk-off walk and a walk-off hit by pitch. Topps will track anything these days, people. I mean, literally anything. So that's pretty cool right there. Tyler O'Neill, I believe he is no longer with St. Louis. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I will find out for you by the time the notes come around. Card number 80. Who do we have here? Tanner Rainey. I almost said Tanner Roark just from habit. Tanner Rainey, Nationals relief pitcher, wears number 21. Rainey is not a guy who's been around a very long time, so I'm not well versed on his history. Let's see what the blurb says. Let's see what things say on the back. Rainey's been around a little longer than I realized. Rainey is now in his, 22 was his 5th major league season, and he's still around. He closed some games for Washington in 22, as it appears here. 12 saves in 29 games. Prior to injuring his elbow in July, blurb says, and undergoing Tommy John surgery in August, Tanner was evolving into a frontline closer. He sat 8th in the NL in saves at that time, overwhelming hitters chiefly with a fierce fastball that averaged 97, and ranked within the top 10 percentile in spin rate. I don't care about that, but whatever. Rainey did not allow a home run in his first 16 appearances. That's pretty cool. And this may be Rainey's first Topps card. I'll have to look into that as well. Rainey's a Christmas baby. How about that? Ricky Henderson is also a Christmas baby, so hey, if you're going to keep company with Ricky Henderson. There's nothing wrong with that. Card number 81, Braves All-Star, Ozzie Albies, second baseman, gets it done for Atlanta. Has been doing it for a while now. Him and Acuna, the A&A boys, getting it done for the Braves for a number of years now. World champion, all-star second baseman. Albies, as you can see here, the photo pretty much tells what kind of player you're getting. You're getting an exciting player, guy who moves, guy with a lot of motor. Let's see the reverse. We'll go over his stats real quick first. League leader in at-bats in 2019. League leader in hits in 2019. Average has dropped, curiously, the last few years, even though he had a 30 home run season as recently as 2021. As you know, in 2022, he did not play a lot due to injury. Blurb says, with the pandemic year excluded, Ozzie was the only player with at least 20 home runs, 100 runs, and 10 steals in each of the 3 full seasons between 2018 and 2021. A broken foot sidelined him for multiple months in 2022. Albies, it would take a broken foot to slow that guy down. He is always on the go. His steals don't really reflect the kind of energy and speed he brings. So I've always liked Albies. He's a good player. Seems like a good guy. From the island of Curacao. Not a very big guy, as you can see. Born in, these guys are just getting younger and younger, or I'm getting older and older. Born in 97 when I was a junior in high school. How about that? Keeping it moving, we go to card number 82. Card number 82, we have league leaders. Justin Verlander, Framber Valdez, and Alek Manoah. These are the American League leaders in victories 1 through 3. Verlander, of course, led the loop with 18. Valdez chipped in 17, both for the Astros, as they guided Dusty Baker to a World Championship, his first as a manager in 20-plus years. And Alek Manoah seemed like he was on the rise in 2022. Won 16 games for the Halos, or for the Blue Jays. Won 16 games for the Blue Jays, only to crash and burn in about as fiery fashion as you can, without literally doing so in 2023. Now his career is just not even, who knows where he's going to go from here. Shohei, of course, on that chart, number 4 with 15 wins. The Angels. Now, if you ever wonder why the Angels, it never says Los Angeles Angels on the back of the card, it's because corporation-wise, the Angels' name is Angels LP, Angels Baseball LP. So they're technically not known as the Los Angeles Angels, at least not in legal terms. So that's why ever since they became the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, they've only been seen on Topps cards as Angels. That's the whole reason behind that. It's corporate legal stuff. I was actually surprised we even had pitchers get as high as 18, even as high as 15 in this day and age, where pitchers do not pitch more than 5 innings very often. But here we go. These guys getting those victories, racking up the W's while they still can, while it is still allowed. Card number 83 is the Mets' Tyler McGill. Tyler McGill has served for the Mets in a number of different roles. We see him here coming off a 22 season where he primarily worked out of the pen, but he also made some starts, stretched them out, used them 15 times. This was his second go-around in major leagues after making 18 appearances, most of those starts for the 2021 Mets. McGill was 4-2. McGill struck out 51 in 47 innings, 5.13 ERA, but apparently he was one of those guys that just chewed up innings when the team needed him to, and so I call it the Jeff Fassero types. Jeff Fassero was a Giant for 1.5 seasons back in 05-06. In that 05 season, he didn't have great numbers, but he chewed up a lot of important long relief type innings and spot starts. His ERA didn't tell the whole story of his value to the team. Blurb says Ty Lore, I'm going to slip and do that sometimes, began 2022 with the least amount of MLB service time of any opening day starter in Mets history. I did not know he started on opening day. He won that game before hitting the IL in June through 5 innings of a combo no-hitter. So good for Tyler McGill. Got off to a strong start. Couldn't keep it up, but he's still in the Mets plans from what I know. Moving along, we have card number 82, which is the Toronto Blue Jays team card. And now we see on the front, you see an Hernandez on the Blue Jays card, especially in that style of uniform. You think Tony Fernandez, but no, that's actually Teoscar Hernandez, celebrating with Alejandro Kirk and a number of other teammates. I'm assuming this is a walk-off win and not just like some stolen base in April. So, Toronto Blue Jays, 2022. Looking on the back, they went 92-70, second in the American League East. 8-game winning streak was their longest of the season. Bo Bichette led them in average. Vlad Guerrero Jr. led them in other things, and Alek Manoah was the big-time pitcher. I touched on a last card that his status now is kind of in doubt. So, Blurb says, hard hitting was a universally utilized characterization of the 22 Blue Jays, and an accurate one for the only offense with an average exit velocity of 90-plus miles an hour. The bats generated the highest OPS in the AL, and five players belted at least 24 homers. Toronto claimed the number 1 wildcard seed by winning 31 of their last 47 games. The number 1 wildcard seed, that's still taking some getting used to gain separation from the strong AL pack. So the 22 Blue Jays at the Rogers Center, knocking the ball around pretty steadily. Card number 85. Max Stassi, the former Astros perennial backup, kind of like a space filler guy for the Astros, got into a more prominent role with the Angels after moving on to them. You see here he is in a very odd position. It's like a chair, an invisible chair he's sitting on, or he could be just. You gotta have some really strong calves to maintain that position. If they pulled the chair from under Max Stassi and he didn't fall, that's the strongest legged dude in existence. I'm telling you. Going to the reverse. Stassi has been around, as you can see, for 22 marked his 10th Major League season. As you can see, he's been with the Angels the last few years as his role has increased more and more each season. He was a 13-homer man in 2021. Average has never been much, but he's got pop, 9 homers in 22. And despite a 180 average, look at all those years with the Astros where he basically just probably on the AAA shuttle most of that time until 18. Blurb says that Max has always been a superb defender and pitch framer, but post-2019 hip surgery was a blessing in disguise. Well, I can see why he needed hip surgery. Look how he's sitting on his card. Was a blessing in disguise for his offense. He says it prompted him to change his posture and mindset, leading to more power. So Max Stassi improving as time goes on at age 33. Card number 86. I just want to remind you, or if I didn't say it initially, I am doing all this through a cold. So you're going to hear some sniffles, and you're going to hear possibly a cough. I'm going to edit out most of the coughs if I can find a way to do it without, chopping things up too much. But anyway, we bring you to card number 86. Great Tigers closer Gregory Soto, left-hander, hard thrower. No longer with the Tigers, but still here as of this set, still with Detroit. Gregory Soto, go to reverse, stayed 48 games in 21-22 for the Tigers, including 30 in 2022 with a 3.28 ERA. Not astronomical strikeout totals this past season, although he's had some pretty impressive numbers in the past. Blurb says his 98-mile-an-hour heat, complemented by his 89-mile-an-hour slider, all with one of the highest vertical break averages in the game. Gregory is the definition of a power closer. In 2022, he had the most saves by a Tiger pitcher in 4 years. 4 years ago, who closed for the Tigers? 4 years ago. That would be 2018. It was Joe Nathan? No, Joe Nathan was long gone by then. Doesn't matter. I'll look it up. Gregory is the definition of a power closer. I already read that part. Soto was their first reliever chosen to the MLB All-Star game in back-to-back seasons since Jose Valverde. Remember him? In 2010-2011. Gregory Soto has since moved on to, who is it? The Phillies, I want to say? We'll have that info for you on after editing too. Card number 87, we have the legendary Ethan Small. That's all I know about him. I've told you guys in previous versions of this show, I don't know a lot about the rookies, about most of the rookies in this set. I just don't. I'm sorry. I wish I did. But Ethan Small, left-hander for the Brewers apparently in 22, wears number 43. Got in 2 games for Milwaukee in 22 through 6 innings. Gave up 5 earned runs. Comes to a 7.11 ERA. The blurb says, already equipped with the best changeup in the Brewers system. According to Baseball America, Ethan unveiled a new slider in 2022 to give him another return to lefty hitters. So Ethan, then they start getting all the serious stuff, which I'm not going to get into. So Ethan Small apparently is somebody who's going to be more than small by the time his career is done. We go to card number 88, the great Luis Robert. He is now known in some circles with a junior as a suffix. I don't really do that unless there's a father involved in pro sports. So there's actual reason to need to distinguish one from the other. We got Luis in his throwback White Sox uniform. Or is that a throwback, or that could be a tribute, or one of the? Oh, it's one of those. What do they call it? The series uniforms that are all the rage now. In any event, it's not the typical White Sox uniform. Robert getting this done there in this unconventional garb that we haven't seen much of. On the reverse, the blurb. There is no blurb, so we'll just go over some of his stats from 2022. For a phenom, his stats are pretty ordinary, but you know he's battled some injuries over the years. Already, 22 was his 3rd major league season, so 23 this past year was his 4th. It doesn't seem like he's been around that long, but he has apparently. 36 home runs in career, 857 at bats. Not becoming of a phenom with his hype, but that's not really his fault. That's the fault of everyone who made him out to be the next Babe Ruth. Or actually, Ohtani would be the next Babe Ruth. I guess we can say Robert is the next Hank Aaron, or was. Luis Robert's still only 26 years old, so he is going to probably have some big years before it's all said and done. Card number 89 would be Brett Baty. And I've heard that name before. I don't know a ton about him. He's a 2022 rookie, and he is wearing the Mets black uniform that reminds me of the Robin Ventura days. You know, you remember when Ventura hit that grand slam that was actually a walk-off single to end a playoff game in '99? Well, Baty brocketed that same type of look here. I didn't know the Mets had brought that back. Blurb says, in a moment he described as just pure joy, Brett used his first swing as a big leaguer to provide a souvenir on August 17th of 22. The 2-run shot to right field, I was thinking foul ball, God, I'm an idiot, made him only the 5th player in Mets history to homer in his initial at-bat. Before his call to New York, Baty steamrolled the high minors with a 315 blah 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 ledger and 19 round trippers. So Baty got in 11 games with the Mets in 22, homered twice in all with 5 runs batted in. Only hit 184, but, you know, small sample size is not really going to determine a whole lot from that. Baty shares a birthday with my daughter. He was born exactly 10 years to the day that she was. How about that? Card number 90. Card number 90 is hard-hitting Astro Corey Lee. Corey with a K for those of you who just didn't know. Corey Lee, this is a youngster for the Astros. Another guy, another rookie card who I have very limited knowledge of. When I think Corey Lee, I think of the Texas Rangers outfielder from, I think he was an outfield prospect from way back. I'm not thinking of this guy. But anyway, moving on. Corey Lee, blurb says, making just his second start for Houston on July 10th, 2022. Corey went 3 for 4 with a double and 3 RBI. He's a stout defensive catcher whose athleticism, he's a catcher? Wow, he does not look like a catcher. Allows him to play corner, infield, and outfield. Across 3 levels of the farms in 2021, Lee threw out 23 of 53 aspiring base thieves for a first-class caught stealing rate of 43.4%. 4 for 25 at bat. Not anything to brag about there, but again, small sample size. Corey Lee, I believe, is still with Houston, serving in a part-time or backup role. Card number 91. Card number 91. Now, you see, you think Josh Naylor, and we remember Naylor starting out with the Padres, and then when he goes to Cleveland, I believe they were still the Indians when he had his horrible broken leg. I believe that was in mid-2021. Josh Naylor is now has pretty much moved to first base full time since that horrible outfield injury, and he's become quite a productive player for the Cleveland team. And some wild hair you see here on the front of the card, and on the reverse we see Cleveland. See there, I already talked about the Cleveland Guardians thing, so I'm not gonna dive back into that. 2022, Naylor has really blossomed overall with 20 homers and 70 RBI. He is listed here as a first base DH, no longer really playing the outfield. Josh recovered from a grisly ankle injury in 21. I was right to supply the 2022 Guardians with a clutch bat to go with his animated personality and dynamic playing style. Whenever the big moment shows itself, especially if a great pitcher is throwing, there's something about him, says teammate Austin Hedges. He goes, "You're not getting me out right here." Yeah, Naylor is a tough at bat. If you ever watch him, he will battle you. He will battle you all the way to the end. He's definitely an asset to a team that he's playing for. Card number 92 is Tristan Casas, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm not going to pretend that I know I'm right, because I don't know. Youngster, first baseman for the Red Sox. Big guy. Certainly, probably going to be one of their, hopefully, key players moving forward. He is 23 years old, according to the reverse here. They actually just turned 24 a couple weeks ago. He's had some decent minor league seasons, 5 homers and 76 at bats with the 22 Red Sox. Well, it's only a 197 average, but what are you going to do? Blurb says, "I love hitting." This is Tristan speaking. "It's my favorite thing to do in the world. If you ask me about it, I'll be able to write a book." The potent first sacker has penned a successful story of development over 4 seasons on the farms, becoming one of the MLB.com top 20 prospects. See, he's going to probably be given every shot to have a future in Boston. At AAA last August, Casas, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, please forgive me, I'm not an expert, I never claimed I was an expert at pronunciation, ripped 8 extra base hits in one 7-game span. Card number 93 is the Angels team card, and we see them, as we see so many other team cards lately, celebrating some sort of walk-off victory. I can't really tell who's in the photo here. I do see someone taking the photo, I think, in the corner. The Angels, not to be confused with the Los Angeles Angels, formerly known as the Anaheim Angels, and so on and so forth. Angels played Angel Stadium. 2022, they won 73 games. They lost 89. Finished third. Decent home, well, I won't say decent, but a better home record than a road record, that's for darn sure. Team leaders were Mike Trout, Ohtani, and Taylor Ward. The Angels paraded 2 of the game's must-see attractions in Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. Ohtani broke more barriers by ranking 4th in the AL in both home runs and ERA, among countless other unique achievements. Trout kept alive his streak of 11 straight seasons with a 930-plus OPS. Injury stifled the attack, but the staff ERA improved by nearly a run per game as rookie Reed Detmers fired a no-hitter. That brings us to card number 94, Oswald Peraza. Youngster for the Yankees, rookie card. I'm pretty sure it was an Oswald Peraza in the late 80s for Topps. I don't know what team he was on back then. This could be his son. This could be some other relative. This could be just complete coincidence. We don't know, or at least I don't know. Oswald Peraza is a shortstop. The blurb says, when injuries thinned the Yankees roster during a crucial September in 2022, a crucial September? Okay. The club didn't hesitate to turn to their just-turned-22 number 3 prospect for a quick assist. After 2 hitless starts, he went 5 for 11 with 2 doubles and 2 walks in his next 3. And then the lifelong Derek Jeter fan, let's see, he had 19 homers in the minors in 22 with an OPS of 778, not bad. Stole 33 bases, so he's got some skills. He can do some things for the Yankees. I don't know if he's going to be their guy going forward, but he certainly seems like he's got a decent resume if they choose to go in that direction. Card number 95, we have a human being named Jonah Bryan. And most of the rookies in this set, like I said, I don't know them very well, but at least I've heard their names. Because I do read the box scores, I do read the news stories. And I'm a Bay Area guy. I live in the Bay Area, have my whole life. I have no idea who this man is. None whatsoever, so I'm not going to waste your time speaking on someone that I know nothing about. We'll just go straight to the reverse. Jonah hit safely in 6 of his first 7 games for the 22 A's following his June 14th call-up, number 23 pick in the 18 draft. He molded himself into a prospect by waging consistently competitive at-bats at every level. He's got some great plate discipline, according to Baseball America. Got in 58 games for the 22 A's. How do I not know this guy? First 58 Major League games of his career, he homered once, only hit 204 overall, but he's got this card, and we can't take that from him ever again. So I guess I should know that name going forward. Card number 96, we have the veteran starting pitcher, best known for his days with the Twins, now a Philly, at least in this set, Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson has been around. He's won over 100 Major League games now. He's had some pretty good years for Minnesota and some other teams. I think he was he with Texas? No, he wasn't with Texas this past season. I think he was with Philly this past season still. Maybe mid-season trade somewhere. Kyle Gibson hasn't been with the Rangers since 21. Boy, I'm a little behind there. 89 Major League wins entering 2023. I'm pretty sure he got the 11 he needed to get to the 100 because I was monitoring that. He was an MLB All-Star Game invitee in 2021, even more effective in 2022, and one 8-start spell against intra-division foes. His 2.1 ERA included a perfect game bid of 6 innings versus Washington, which is almost like 6 innings against the Major League team. For those of you keeping score at home, Gibson tied for the league in shutouts in 2020 with 1. Very good. And you have to wonder, was it 7 innings? This was in 2020, so it could have been a 7-inning shutout. Card number 97. Card number 97 is the left-handed pitcher Brandon Hughes, shown here in some sort of Cubs, either throwback uniform or one of the Cityscape or City Edition, whatever it's called, some sort of different Cubs look. Brandon Hughes. What do we know about him? Go to the blurb. An outfielder his first 2 seasons as a Cub farhand, Brandon moved to the mound in 2019 and found immediate success. The Southpaw fashioned the second lowest ERA in the system among hurlers with at least 40 innings in 2021. On May 17th of 2022, he struck out 5 of the first 6 batters he faced in his debut. And by August, he was racking up saves. So he had 8 saves, spent most of the year in middle relief, but did finish the year with those 8 saves, 3.12 ERA. He was a true rookie in 2022, so Brandon Hughes making a name for himself in a way that usually only Rule 5 guys do. Card number 98, 3 more to go in this series. Yaz. Card number 98 is Yaz. Mike Yastrzemski, now a 5-year Giant. This 2022 marked his 4th year with the Giants. You see him here laying all out. The guy does have glove out there in right field for the Giants. Plays a very, very, very solid right field over there at Oracle Park. This is, of course, Carl's grandson, and blurb says, although he was 7 years older than Carl when they made their respective Major League debuts, Mike is to right field defense as Carl was to left. The younger Yaz twice has been the position's NL leader in range factor per 9, and in 2020 he did not commit an error. At the plate, Mike mauled a walk-off grand slam on July 15th, 22. I was watching that grand slam live, and it was pretty freaking dramatic. It was pretty special, almost as special as the splash comeback grand slam he hit in 2021. And Yastrzemski, of course, has a couple 20-homer seasons under his belt. He's been up and down to batting average. He's a good player, though. He's one of the rare players the Giants, one of the rare outfielders the Giants have not just toyed with, bringing him up and down from the minor leagues over and over again. Card number 99 is the Rockies' veteran starting pitcher. Got a new deal recently, Antonio Senzatella. This is a guy who's been around Colorado now, I believe, for about 5 years. He can do a lot of different things well. He pitches in that Coors Field atmosphere, which certainly doesn't help, but actually 22 marked his 6th year, so he's still there. This is 7 seasons he's been with the Rockies now, two double-digit win seasons. Never thrown more than 156 and 2/3 innings. Never really had a great ERA, except for he had a good ERA in the shortened 2020 season. But he's still been a valuable member of that rotation for the better part of 7 years now. And the blurb says Colorado considers Antonio crucial to the team's path forward, signing him to a long extension prior to 22. See, told you. A major reason is his success at Coors Field, where he's won nearly 2/3 of his decisions. Well, that success might be a stretch. Secondary numbers probably tell a different story, but Antonio's no different than most other mortals pitching at that ballpark. He certainly would probably have more victories to his ledger if he pitched at, say, Oracle Park. Rounding out pile 4, I should say, of 2023 Topps Baseball, card number 100. Rounding it out is card number 100, Paul Goldschmidt, the superstar, Hall of Fame, potentially first baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals, late of the Diamondbacks, who used to just punish Tim Lincecum of my Giants like he was a stepchild. Paul Goldschmidt has a big stick, doesn't hesitate to use it. In MLB The Show for me, he once hit into a 3-2 double play, which is hard to do. You see all on the reverse here, all those big years with Arizona, home run champ in 2013, RBI champ, well over 300 in his career, probably going to finish with close to 450 at minimum by the time he's done. And if he were to retire today, I don't know if he'd get into Cooperstown, but if he gets the 400 homers, I'm pretty sure. And he doesn't start bouncing around with different teams at the end of his career like Fred McGriff did, for example. I'm pretty sure he'll go to the Hall of Fame because, especially if he can help the Cardinals win, which is going to be a tall order in 2024. Paul Goldschmidt, fixture in St. Louis. And that's going to do it for pile 4 of 2023 Topps. I'm your boy Skillz. I'll see you next video. Take care.